Welcome to the Music Festivals podcast. This is the show that helps you get to know music festivals, festival venues, and campgrounds before you go. I'm your host, Neighbor Nate, and I'm glad you're in the neighborhood. Hey, yo, neighbors. Welcome back to episode number 57 of the Music Festivals podcast. This is the show that helps you get to know music festivals, festival venues, and campgrounds before you go. And as always, I am your host, Neighbor Nate. And today we have a very special guest. In 2024, she released her first solo album that was a vocal album, and it's entitled I Built a World, and it earned a Grammy nomination for the Best Bluegrass Album that year. I've had a chance to see her play multiple places, the Caverns in Tennessee, Renewal Festival in 2024 with Molly Tuttle and the Golden Highway, and then most recently this summer at Grassfire just a few weeks back. She'll also be playing at K-Fest in October, and that's October 11th through 12th at the Caverns down in Pelham, Tennessee. I am absolutely delighted to welcome Bronwyn Keith-Hynes to the show today. All right, neighbors, I'm here with Bronwyn Keith-Hynes. This interview is cool. We've tried to do this a couple times, but the lords of the internet and all this technology were not really allowing us. I'm so happy we could do this and that you were patient and able to get on with me today. Thank you.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Yeah, this is cool. So I interviewed your husband, a little while back. And so that kind of led to this interview, but then we bumped into each other at Nelson Ledges Quarry Park. And that was after you were playing with Kyle and those guys. So before we kind of get going in the other interview, talk to me about how'd that performance go for you? Tell me a little about your experience.
Oh, it was awesome. I'd never been to that festival before, but I'd heard a lot about it. And man, that was one of the coolest festivals I've ever been to. I didn't know, I'd heard a lot about it, but I hadn't heard somehow that there was swimming in a quarry. So I missed that crucial part of it. So I had to buy a bathing suit there because I was damned if I wasn't going to get in the water and swim or bunch. It was awesome. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a really fun place to go in Ohio, and totally cool that you got to play there. But yeah, one of the things that I've always wanted to ask you about is your experiencing the American Roots program. So, you were about 10 years ago at this point, a little more than that. Tell me a little bit about it sounds like you went when you were 16 on scholarship. So I'm curious to find out how did that work out and what was your experience there?
Yeah, so I was homeschooled growing up, and I guess the summer I was 16, I met some kids at a fiddle camp I met a guy named Duncan Wick, who was a fiddler, who was going to Berklee already, and then I met a couple other kids that were going the next year, and I kind of got really excited about that, and I was I came home from fiddle camp, and I was like, Mom and Dad, I want to go to college next year, and I want to apply this fall, and I think they were a little taken aback at first. They were like, oh, you're a little young, but they came around to the idea. So I auditioned when I was 16 and got accepted, but I guess I started the summer I was 17.
Okay.
2009, and and so it just kind of happened that it was the year that the American Roots Music program started. I didn't even really know that much about it. I just knew that a lot of improvising fiddlers were coming out of that program or going into that program, and I knew Casey Dreesen and this guy Duncan Whipple, and I was big fans of them. So I was like, well, I guess that's where you go to learn how to improvise as a fiddler. So and then I turned up there, and it was all these kids also turned up there that year because I think they had done probably a big recruiting effort to launch that program. So in my year and the year or two after me was Molly, pretty much everybody in Golden Highway, Molly, Kyle, Dom, Sam Grisman, Alex Hargraves, Mike Barnett, Courtney Hartman. You name it. There's a lot of people.
The amount of players that have come out of that program all at the same time has always been fascinating to me. But that led you to Golden Highway. And was there conversations of that when you were in school, or did that happen after?
Oh no, yeah, that happened years later. Molly called me for that in the summer of 2021. So almost 10 years later.
That's cool. So what was from the program? What do you think was the best thing you took from it, other than clearly connections and things like that, and the schooling? But what else? What challenged you when you were there?
I mean, I learned about music theory, and I'd grown up I grew up playing Irish fiddle actually, and I didn't know really that much about bluegrass until I went to that program. So I learned about bluegrass a lot, and I learned basic jazz theory, which comes in handy for any kind of music you want to play, and that
Yeah.
just kind
Yeah.
of gives you a framework for like how to think about music, or at least helps me out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very cool. That's
Yeah.
and so that's led to, you've said it multiple times. You talk about fiddle, and now you're a vocalist too. So let's talk a little bit about your new album, I Build a World, and what was it like? Was it intimidating to sing on your first album?
Yeah, definitely. I grew up playing the fiddle, and I think I always had this thing where I was like, I don't want to sing. I just want to be taken seriously as a fiddler. And like, I don't know. I just, for some reason, had this idea that like, I just didn't have time or energy or blah, blah, blah. I just wanted to play the fiddle and really was not interested in singing for like, my entire time at Berklee. And even after that, a good amount, I just wanted to be in a band. And
Mhm.
um, I think that I feel like that kind of started to change like in Golden Highway. And
Okay.
um and I think part of it was having a really positive female role model in Molly, of a great young contemporary female bluegrass singer that I really liked her singing and looked up to, and Shelby too. She's a great singer. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think, and also actually, what had happened before that was the pandemic, which suddenly I couldn't tour anymore. And I had all this time at home, and I
Yeah.
think at that point I started being like, what else would I like? What should I do? Like I've got tons of time. Like what should I do to fill my time? What have I always wanted to do? And one of those things was sing. So I did take a lot of singing lessons during the pandemic over Zoom.
That's
Um,
great. Yeah.
yeah, so I would kind of stand in my living room and, do these lessons and really work on it. So then Golden Highway happened like 2 years later, and so it'd been kind of already on my mind that it's like, oh, I kind of want to do this. And yeah, and also the other thing was I put out a like my debut solo record was I put out actually in 2020, and it was an instrumental record with some guest vocalists. It's called
Okay.
Fiddler Time. And and I was really inspired by like records by like Michael Cleveland and Aubrey Haney, who have these guest vocalists on them. It's sort of like a thing, you
Yeah. Yeah.
do some
Yeah.
instrumentals and then the singer sings some songs. But then when I put it out, I suddenly realized I was like, people kept asking me if I was going to do like a CD release, and I was like, oh God, I don't know if I could. It would be impossible to get like all these people back in the same place at the same time. Like I can't play all this music live, and that was kind of like,
Yeah.
oh, like, that's a little bit of a bummer. So then I was like, okay, the next record I do, I want to be able to perform it all myself. So I
Yeah.
don't know. Just all these little things kind of kept coming together, and eventually I was like, I think I really want to sing.
So when you're choosing the ensemble that goes with, yeah, to clearly let you sing and whatnot, um, how does that process work? Is it just folks that you know, or are you looking for a specific sound? Like, how do you get the right fit for, how it's going to match your vocals and what you want the sound to be like on an album like that?
Man, I mean, it's just it's just like I know people's sounds, I know how they play, and I've
Yeah.
heard on other albums mostly, so I just kind of pick what vibe I'm going for the instrumental stuff. And then as far as the singing, it's kind of the same deal. Like I chose the harmony singers after I'd finished my like lead parts, and I'd kind of had the rest of the track done. And then
Yeah.
I was kind of able to sit back and listen to it and be like, okay, like what would this person sound like singing? What would just thinking about that, and then just sent out some texts, and thankfully some people were willing to do it.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. What are you most proud of on the album?
I don't know. I really like "Can't Live Without Love." That's like my favorite song off the album. I don't know. I just think it's a cool song, and I
Yeah.
just like how it's just got some kind of magic in it.
Yeah. How did that one come to you?
I heard that song. My husband Jason played me that song. It's written by Jamie Hartford, it's John
Yeah.
Hartford's son.
Yeah.
Great songwriter too. And Jason, yeah, Jason played it for me. And was like, I always thought this would be a cool song. And I did too. And then there were a couple lyrics that I think had maybe like made Jason be like, I'm not sure about singing these. I don't know about that. But I kind of
Yeah.
instantly heard changes that I was like, well, you could just change it to this and change that to that, and then that would sort that out and make it more relevant to me.
Yeah.
So I changed around a couple lyrics, and then it really worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you talked about Jason a couple times now. I had the chance to interview him with, Michael, and that was a lot of fun actually.
Yeah.
But I actually saw you guys, I believe it was at Cave Fest, like the weekend right before your wedding.
Oh,
You guys had played there. We were actually at that festival. And then you guys hustled off into the Opry thing. So yeah, what was that like for you? Like what was the most memorable part of that day?
Of the wedding day?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my
The
gosh.
whole well, even the whole weekend of getting ready, like, I can't imagine, like, playing a performance and then having to, like, plan a wedding and get everything organized and,
That
like
whole year honestly was, like, the craziest year of my life, like, between, just being on the road nonstop with going on the highway, like, I moved into Jason's house before because we knew it would be too crazy to try to do the move after the wedding, like,
yeah,
putting out a record that year. It was insane. There's just, like, a billion things going on. So, I don't know, I was sort of, like, in a constant state of stress,
yeah,
but, I don't know, but the wedding turned out, very cool. We did this, like, sunrise wedding. Jason had the idea to do it at the Opry, actually, and, um, yeah, we were just trying to think of somewhere that would be special to us and kinda mean something to us, and
yeah,
that definitely fit the bill. But the only way we were able to do it, they have the performances at night, and I guess they have these tours all day during the day.
yeah,
And so sort of the way to make it work was to do it before the tour started, which meant we had to be done at 9 a.m. or like off the stage by 9 a.m. So we
yeah.
did the ceremony at 8:30. And we had like the kind of they have more like they can raise up more of the stage or more of the audience section can kind of raise up to the stage. So
Oh, that's
ended
cool.
up that they fit like 200 people of our guests all on the stage, sort of in these chairs surrounding us,
Oh,
surrounding the
that's cool.
circle. So that kinda made it, like, extra special. We were, like, all there rather than them down in the audience or something. Um,
That
but
had to
then
be for them too to be on stage at the Opry, like, that's cool.
yeah, and Michael played the music for me to walk down the aisle to, and he
Yeah,
played a song that Jason wrote, and then we did, like a reception backstage in Studio A, which is where they filmed Hee Haw, I guess, back in
yeah,
the day. So we
yeah,
did that, and then, by that point, we were so fried and had just a couple hours in the afternoon to just, like, try to, eat some food and decompress, and then had to go right back to the Opry and get ready for the show that night.
yeah, yeah, and that's crazy. I mean, I with both of you guys right now, I definitely admire the hustle. I feel like you guys are, like, working like heck, and that's amazing. When you find time to decompress, like, how does that work when you're just constantly and there's a lot of people that are constantly in motion, right? What do you do to kinda get by?
Yeah, we go on walks, that's kind of our thing, like, a 3 or 4 mile walk every day is, like,
Yeah,
sort of our time to, like, it's like a good hour that we can just kinda hang out and talk and, get some exercise. I don't know, that's the main thing we do, but
yeah,
I try to sleep a lot as soon as I get home from tour. Right now I just got home yesterday and I'm going back out on Thursday and, I came down with this sinus thing and I'm like just trying
yeah.
to like recover from that and do laundry and just kind of chill out.
Yeah, I saw a lot of dates out west, Colorado, whatnot. So that's
Yeah.
gonna be cool. And I'll see Jason and Michael play in Berryville at Watermelon Pickers Festival.
Oh,
So
cool.
that was one of my questions. Like, oh, I wonder if she's gonna. Do you ever follow each other? Like, do you ever try to be in the same place at the same time on at the tour, the festival tour?
If it works out, we don't really have that much control over it. Like, we hope that the festivals would have us on the same day or something that would be fun. But like,
Yeah,
but otherwise, it's like we can't both play in the same town on the same day or like
yeah,
that would be bad. I mean, occasionally it's worked out that one of us is free and then like can travel. But honestly, like we're both so busy. It's like if I've got a couple days off, I'm probably not going to want to go on tour with him because I'm be trying to like rest up for my
yeah,
next thing.
yeah. Do you ever see a husband and wife fiddle tour? Like, does that ever happen down the line?
We did it once before. We did like a couple days in Florida once. I think maybe someday. I think right now we're both wanting to make sure we're really focusing on like establishing our own projects just because we're both
Yeah.
so new for both of us so we don't and we do the same thing, right? But like definitely down the road I'm sure there'll be a time that it makes sense to do something together.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's cool, to see, like, where you're going and to see where he's going, and, I'll admit, like, I was a little disappointed that Golden Highway came to an end. I thought that was such a cool ensemble, but all of you are doing really great things, so, like, I'm very yeah, congratulations on the wedding and having a really cool one at that too, so
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I know it was. I just feel like there's like I don't know, there's a time for everything, and if you do one thing for too long, maybe it could lose its arc or something. Or there's if you kind of keep changing, and I don't know, I think you can kind of grow more as a
yeah,
musician, like as an artist.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's cool. So, well, good luck to you, and, we'll be watching for sure.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And that's a wrap. Special thanks to Bronwyn for taking the time in her incredibly crazy schedule to talk to us. I really mean what I said when I said she was hustling. There's probably a fiddle tune about that somewhere. But speaking of hustling, check out our growing list of music festival documentaries. These are 20 to 30 minutes in length, and you can see and hear the vibes of each festival and get perspectives from the people who all make it happen at the various different levels, from attendees to promoters to everybody else. You can go to the website at musicfestivalspodcast.com and simply look for the tab up at the top that says Festival Documentaries. You'll find all of them there. And while you're on the site, make sure to subscribe to the Neighborhood Monthly newsletter. That is coming out early next month, and you're going to get news and updates on festivals, special features, other announcements, discount codes as well from our affiliates: Custom Made Casino, Outdoorsy.com, Inokim Electric Scooters, Melted Mind Designs, Custom Tie-Dyed Apparel, Cast Magic, CapCut, Opus Clip, and Hoem. And I do want to take a chance to welcome our newest partner, Eventany. Eventany was founded on the belief that managing large-scale festivals and events with hundreds of exhibitors, vendors, sponsors, and volunteers should not be as stressful as it actually is. And so they built Eventany. So in the next coming weeks, you're going to find out all about them, and we're even going to have them on for an episode. Next week, we're going to do a Hookahville 61 recap from the J&M Ranch out in Ansonia, Ohio. And this festival is going to feature Glow Stick, the Snosberries, Dustin Smith and the Daydreamers, the Giants, and then this young guy, Finney McKee, who I got to see in spring. I'm super excited to see him play again because he absolutely rips. I have a special type of documentary planned for that, so we're going to see if I can pull it off. We're also hopefully going to be live streaming that if everything goes well. So far it has. But make sure to tune in and see the Hookah family in action next week. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you are listening to the audio podcast, thank you very much. And please go ahead and rate the show on Spotify and Apple when you're there, and then head directly over to the YouTube channel so you can subscribe there, click the little bell to make sure that you get all the videos, including the festival documentaries. And you can join the conversation there with your neighbors in the comments, or hit me up on the Music Festivals Podcast Facebook page, or on Instagram at Neighbor Nate Fests or Nate Riggs. But that is it. That is all I got for you this week, neighbors. As always, I am Neighbor Nate, and I hope to be your neighbor at a festival very soon. Maybe it'll be in Ansonia for Hookahville.